Here we are at one of our stops along the George Washington Memorial Parkway. This is the U.S. Marine Corps War Memorial, popularly known as the Iwo Jima Memorial, because it represents a very, very famous flag raising that took place on Iwo Jima Island during World War II atop Mount Suribachi. This memorial is inscribed with all of the major battles the U.S. Marine Corps has participated in since before the founding of the United States of America. This is Arlington National Cemetery. The big house on the hill was the plantation home of Robert E. Lee and his family. They lived here before the Civil War broke out, but after the southern states seceded from the Union, Lee went to Virginia and took up command of the Confederate Army. And the property eventually became an area where freed black people could settle, and now it is probably the most sacred cemetery in the United States of America, Arlington National Cemetery. The Tomb of the Unknown Soldier is here. John F. Kennedy is buried here. Many, many, many people who've served in the armed forces of our country and their spouses are buried here as well. I'm near the Tomb of the Unknown Soldier now at Arlington National Cemetery. This is a very quiet and respectful place, so I am going to walk up and silently sit down to view the guard who's on duty. The tomb is guarded all day, all night, every day of the year. This is the Lyndon Baines Johnson Memorial Grove at Lady Bird Johnson Park on Columbia Island. There's an agreeably quiet-ish grove of pine trees here. And if we turn, we can see this is a Texas granite memorial to President Lyndon Baines Johnson, and you can see the Washington Monument in the background. It's never quiet here in my experience. You can hear yard equipment and traffic, and now an airplane, but if you walk to the Potomac River side, you can get a nice view. So let's stop and take a look. And here we are, still at the LBJ Memorial Grove on the Potomac. You can see the Lincoln Memorial in the background. Lots of traffic on the parkway. Construction in DC. Here's the George Washington Monument. And then we have the Jefferson Memorial in the tidal basin. As you can see, this is a very nice place to chill out. If you just need a place to sit down, there's some pretty daffodils in the background. They're hard to see here. It's also a good place for plane spotting if you like looking at airplanes. This is Gravelly Point Park, just north of Reagan National Airport, along the northbound side of the George Washington Parkway. This is a nice flat area, so if you like to jog or bicycle, it's a good place to come. There's a boat ramp here, but the main attraction is over here, the runway. Let's do a little plane spotting. People of all ages come here to do just that. Watch the planes land and take off at the airport. As you can see, the runway is straight in front of me. It's hard to believe there was once a mining operation here. As we look around, we can see the Potomac River and the Wilson Bridge and National Harbor and some nice looking boats and the Maryland shore on the opposite side. The trail I'm standing on was once used by the miners. And if we look up in the trees, you see that big blob right about in the middle. That's a bald eagle's nest. I was out here on a birding walk a couple weeks ago. We saw 8 bald eagles in this very area. This is a nice place to look for birds, although I'm here at about 3:30 in the afternoon and there aren't many out visible to me. I can hear a few. The ideal time to come here if you are a birder is in the morning, somewhere around 8 o'clock or thereabouts. Bird walks are held here at Dyke Marsh most Sundays at 8 a.m. The birding folks are really nice, and they'll even let you look through their scopes if they see something cool like the great horned owl we saw a couple of weeks ago. This is Fort Hunt Park. Fort Hunt was begun in 1897. It's located almost directly across the Potomac River from Fort Washington in Maryland, although you can't see that fort from here. The fort was finished after the Spanish-American War ended. It remained an active fort for a while, and then in the 1930s it was transferred into a recreational area use status. Fort Hunt was reactivated somewhat in World War II. Some classified work was done here, and this is also the place where the first African-American ROTC unit drilled. Visitors to Fort Hunt are allowed to walk up on top of these fortifications and down into the lower area, but you're not allowed to go inside. Supposedly there's asbestos in there and it's not safe, but if I were an 11-year-old boy, I would be all over that. You can see that there's some nice picnic facilities here too. From April through October, if you come with a group, you need a permit to use those picnic facilities.